How often do people come to your studio and go, I want this, and you're like, one, I don't agree with that, or I don't like that, or it's the wrong style for me to do it?
I've been really lucky in that I don't really get it that often. I think most people who email, because it's not a walk-in studio either, so no one really knows it's here, the little secret door. But it's more like people who are emailing have already seen my work and have already seen what I'm capable of and seen what I like. So usually they come to me either with, I sometimes get people come to me with pictures of work that I've already done, which is really nice, because like you can kind of gauge from that like what they want. But obviously I'd never recreate the same thing, so it's like I can kind of work from that. I've had a few people ask me for like colour pieces and stuff like that, and who've sent me pictures of like traditional tattoos, and obviously that's not all the style that I do, and it's not even that I don't want to try it or I'm too scared to try it, but it's that I know I would not be able to make the best job of that. Yeah. So I'm not going to just take someone's money and have a bash at it, do you know what I mean? I'd rather say, oh, well, I've got friends in Sheffield at Crooked Claw who could do that amazing, or I've got like, people want hand poke and it's like, my work might look like that, but it's not hand poke. I always would rather recommend my friends who are fantastic tattooists as well, who are much more capable of the job. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? There's enough work to go around, so I think when people in the tattooing industry sometimes become a little bit, they don't like that, do you know what I mean? Yeah. It's like, I'll handle it, or I'll do it, or they think there's not enough work to go around, but the truth is there is more than enough, do you know what I mean? There's enough skin in the world to go around, so I think the more generous you are and the more honest you are as well, the more work you'll get.
And you don't want to be putting out work that you're not proud of because you just had a bash.
Yeah, exactly. It's not worth it. It's really not worth it. It's your name at the end of the day. Tattooing's insane in the fact that it's one, you know what I mean, it's an art form where you create it and then it walks out the door and you've got no control over that whatsoever. So all you can do is make the absolute best job of it as you can in here, and then hope that they look after it, and then hope that it's a walking advertisement, do you know what I mean, for the rest of that person's life if they choose to keep it. So it's got to be good. Yeah. It's got to be pretty good.
Now, you're talking about the workload, and tattooing is so big now. Do you care that it's not necessarily an alternative thing now, that 1 in 3 people have it?
That's a really, really good question. I think that, honestly, and I don't mean to sound disrespectful to some people who might think differently to me, that's a load of shit. And I think it's great. And I think that the more people who get tattooed, of course, the more socially acceptable it is and the more normal it becomes. And you can be cool and you can be underground and you can say all these things, but what does that even mean? Do you know what I mean? Like, really, like, we should all have, if you want to, some people don't want to get tattooed, and that's fine, but if you want to, you should all have the chance to express yourself and to do that. I mean, it's the same as getting dressed up or putting on makeup or whatever else, and I know it's more permanent, but as I said earlier, like, what is permanent? Our bodies aren't that permanent anyway, you know what I mean? Don't take yourself too seriously. And the fact that more and more people are harnessing that and are doing that and are just doing things that make them happy for themselves, I don't see why people can chalk that up as a bad thing. Yeah. I really don't. Like, people say, like, oh, yeah, it's not... It's almost like that cool thing where it's like, oh, it's not as cool anymore because everybody else is doing it, and it's like, give a fuck.
That means they're getting it for the wrong reason, probably, doesn't 100%.
It? Yeah. If that's the reason you tattoo in the first place, and that's not really a good... Not really a good shout, is it? Should be to make people happy and make yourself happy. Do you know what I mean? Definitely.
Okay. Now, who are the celebrities that people are inspired by in terms of tattoos? Do you have people coming in saying, I want tattoos because I love how they look? Or
not anymore particularly, I must admit, but I remember when I worked at the street shops, we get it all the time, and you get people coming in for like religious leaves and stuff like that because they love David Beckham's, like sort of stuff like that. And I mean, people will bitch, and I know like some of my friends sometimes laugh because they say, like, you know, if I get like a new little tattoo or something, they'll go, oh, like, I'm prepared to get asked for that one now. Oh, yeah. And it's like, I don't think it's any bad thing. Like, at the end of the day, it is what it is, isn't it? And if people are going to be inspired by other people, then so be it. Like, as long as that's what you actually want, and it's not just because you want to emanate someone else, I think that's totally fine.
Yeah.
But often people will get their own version of something then anyway, which makes it way better.
Can you kind of gauge when you meet a customer whether they're doing it for the right reasons? Do you ever go, are you really sure you want to do this? Because I'm not sure you're ready or right to be doing it.
Like I say, it's kind of different now I'm here, because I don't really get that in the studio anymore. But back at Holy Mountain, it would sometimes be a bit like, are you really sure you want to do that?
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, that's why you have a consent form. And that sounds harsh, but it's like, there's only so much you can do. Obviously, if somebody wanted something that was inappropriate or I didn't feel comfortable doing it, then we'd never do it. Like, it's not, you've got, you know what I mean, you've got your own morals, and that's fine. But there is the argument that they're just going to go get it done somewhere else. And if it's something that they are really adamant on, and it's not offensive, and it's not anything like that, and it's nothing that conflicts with any of your morals or anything like that, then go for it.
Yeah.
If it makes them happy at the time, then do it. It's really funny actually, because this tattoo that I've got, this one is based on a piece by a different artist, and it's the first one of, well, after the shit one, it was the first tattoo that I got. And when I went to the guy who did it at the time, I took him the photo of the exact one that I'd found, a Valu Vargas piece, and she's incredible. And I took it to him, and I was like, I know you can't do this. I was like, but can you make it similar? As similar as you can. And I mean, I do love it because it's one of the first ones that I got, but it is strange how I think if I'd been even a year older, I probably wouldn't have got that. I don't regret it for 1 minute, but I don't really feel the need to emanate anyone's stuff now. Like, obviously everything's similar, there's going to be similarities drawn between everything, but I'm a different person now, I think. And when I took that in and I had that in my mind, it was so set, and whenever anybody showed me something even slightly different, I'd be like, this is not quite it, and you change as you get older.
In your late teens, early 20s, those are the years you change the most, I think. 100%. Like, you find out who you are, what you're not, and
what you like, what you don't like, everything like that. So yeah, I think it's quite a weird one, because obviously that's when, if you're into tattooing, most people dive in. I can't say anything because I'm 22 and I've got a lot of tattoos. I've not got that much space left, but at the same time, it's like, if it makes you happy at the time and you do like it, then I don't think you'll ever really regret it. Like, I've got some mad stuff on me from a few years ago, even though I'm young, and I don't regret any of it for 1 minute, because it's all memories. And I don't think I'd get any of the ones that I've got now particularly covered up for any reasons, not for like a reason that I didn't like it or that it offended me or anything like that. Like, maybe if I needed more space, I'd just tattoo over tattoos, but I'd never get rid of anything because like I broke up with someone or anything like that. That's just like, that were a memory, that happened. Just because you get rid of it doesn't mean it didn't happen.
It shaped who you are now.
Yeah, I think it's a bit different if you have someone's name or something like that, and you obviously have a new relationship. It's a bit different, and you don't want to be offensive to that, but I've always played it quite safe in that I've had loads of matching tattoos and loads of friendship tattoos with different people, some of whom I don't speak to anymore, some of whom I'm really, really close with still. But I don't dislike any of them, because it's just, I don't look at them and think, oh God, remember that? I think I'll look at it and I think, oh yeah, remember that sick time when we did that, and that was amazing. And it's just your own interpretation of things, isn't it, I think. But
do you tend to do things like your tattoos on a whim, or are you someone that likes to plan things vigorously?
I used to plan, and now I take myself a lot less seriously. So it's a bit of both. It's weird because I got my hand finished this weekend and that was completely unplanned, and I got this weekend and that was relatively unplanned. It was something that I had in my head for a while, but so fuck it.